the evening, we will have a Q&A. Sound good? Any questions before I turn it over to departments? Awesome. Okay, I'll make sure that you get a gift. I'll come around and get your name. Awesome. Sharon, can I turn it over to you? Is that okay? Is it a little early, but that's okay? All right, perfect. I'll still give you total 20-minute time.
Sure.
All right, perfect.
Welcome. Everybody look around, and first of all, give yourself a pat on the back because you got into Virginia Tech, right? Everybody who applied to Virginia Tech did not get in, so I truly mean that as a compliment. And second of all, you've survived the first 2 weeks as a Hokie. Yes, that is saying something. So, with the presentations that you hear about tonight, the different departments in the College of Engineering and the ones you hear about over the next couple of nights, you really cannot go wrong. You are in an amazing position that you have tons of good opportunities in front of you. So likely what you are figuring out over the next couple of days is maybe nuances of some of the reasons that you want to be an engineer or some of the things that fit your personality. But lots of times it's about fit because you could be successful in, I am convinced anyway, that you could be successful in any of the wonderful College of Engineering majors that we have. So think with an open mind and take in the information. I know lots of people came in and say, I wanted to be a whatever kind of engineer, but just, you know, you will either reinforce that and come out of these sessions being more certain that that's what you want to do, or maybe you'll even hear about a department that you didn't know about, and again, on any of these nights. So I really don't think you can go wrong. I'm specifically here to share the information about construction engineering and management, and to assure you, I'm going to share some of the things that I love most about our department, and also just assure you that if you do come to CEM, that I'll take good care of you. So we do have some ambassadors who are helping us tonight. They're not up here yet, but Catherine and Joe are going to be up here to do the question part in just a few minutes, and we have Howard and Michaela who are going to be staffing the table out back. But they have the first-hand perspective. I'm telling you some information. They are the ones who are in the trenches, who are in the classes that I'm talking about. They've done some of the activities and some of the service learning projects and so forth and can hear about that. One other thing I would like to say is, obviously not trying to steal the thunder of building construction, but CEM and BC are two siblings in the same family in the Myers-Lawson School of Construction. So if we do say some of the same things, it's because we're corroborating each other's information. There are lots of opportunities that are the same within those two departments. There are some distinctions, but that is one thing I kind of wanted to point out. So we are in one big family. So I'm the academic advisor in construction engineering and management. I've only been in this position about 3 years. In fact, today is my work anniversary, and I'm so excited to be here. But I've been an academic advisor across campus in a lot of other places, and I will say that the College of Engineering is top-notch among all of the colleges in the university. One of the things in our advising that we strive for is a very personalized approach and kind of figuring out whatever strategy works best for you. Fortunately, we're a smaller major, and I say fortunately because I get to know students a little bit more on a personal level or find out something about what makes them tick, find out where they did an internship or what they're interested in. We have a little less than 200 students, so you do get some personalized attention, and if there's something particular that you want to do while you're at Virginia Tech, we can try to figure that out and figure out your best path. I am pretty well connected with a lot of resources around campus, as you'll hear from a lot of the departments who are speaking tonight. But I can assure you, and please listen to me on this, I am dead serious, you will not encounter an issue at Virginia Tech that has not been encountered by someone before. And there are tons of resources around this campus, many of which sometimes go underutilized. So I would say if you're having an issue of any type, whether it's health, mental health, academic, finding something productive to contribute your time to, there are resources. Just ask, and faculty members and representatives of different departments can help connect you. But there are tons of things that you can do and take advantage of on this campus. If you would be so inclined or want to find out more information, it's obviously not committing you to construction engineering and management, but you can go into Navigate right now as a general engineering student and do an Explore appointment. That's actually the case with any department. unless there's some reason that they are not able to take them right now because their caseload is so heavy or something like that. But you do not have to be in a department before you can go and navigate and explore that major. So feel free to do that, and if not, my contact information is also on the slide, and I'm located in Bishop Favreau Hall on 3rd floor. So CEM students do lots of things that all the engineering majors do. We focus a lot on problem solving. We focus a lot on applying the engineering principles that you're starting to learn right now in your fundamentals classes. We focus on managing resources, but they are all things that are within the construct of the construction industry. So for example, when we say problem solving, we might be saying, how can we design a building so that it lasts longer and it doesn't have to have renovations as often? Or how can we be more sustainable and kind to the environment? How can we manage our resources so that the money and the time and effort that is put into a built structure is as efficient as possible? So part of the way we accomplish that is we try to have as many real-life applications as we possibly can. So you possibly have heard the term capstone. It is very common in engineering majors. That is a class where you typically it's in senior year, lots of times it's in your very last semester, but it's where you put everything together that you've learned in all your other classes. It's where you really do the application piece of your degree, and it's kind of your launching pad as you go out into the industry. So in CEM, we have 2 capstones. We have a 2-semester sequential class that is taken in your last 2 semesters. I know some departments have 1 capstone, but what we do is the same project for 2 semesters, and you're on the same team for both semesters, but you can sort of think of that as a part A and a part B of that capstone experience. So an advantage of that is that it lets you take part in that experience over a longer period of time. You're working with some of those projects for almost a year. So that is very similar to what it would be in kind of the life cycle out in the industry. We have lots of labs. We have a lot of applied learning where students talk about something one day, and then maybe in the lab the next day they practice the hands-on application of that. We're fortunate. I know everybody doesn't necessarily think it's fortunate that there's a lot of construction on campus, but in the School of Construction we are, because that means that our students get to learn about things in class, and then they get to go out onto the site and see those in action, up close and personal. At any given time on this campus, we sometimes have a dozen or more projects, and seriously, some professors will say in class on a given day, show up in PPE, which is personal protective equipment like hard hats and vests and steel-toed boots and so forth, and we are going out onto whatever job site to see some of the things that we've just been talking about in class. And another strong suit is industry backing. We have lots of people in industry, some who were Hokies, and you all, if you don't know it already, Hokies do like to help other Hokies. Out in our industry, we have lots of people who mentor. They give of their time to study our curriculum and tell us what we need to do to improve that. So our industry representatives are very, very vital to the success of our program in the School of Construction. I won't read each one of these labs, but just to give you an idea of the smattering, these are some of the ones that we have in the School of Construction. And you can see that they range from everything from robotics and automation. We have some people who are studying AI. We have people who are doing things that are related to VR and AR headsets and exoskeletons, and taking that technology so that students can put on a VR headset and appear as if they're walking on a construction site. And it's not only used in the classroom for classroom purposes, but in the industry as well. Sometimes an owner can be sitting all the way across the country or across the world and have this type of experience to see the progress that's being made on a project, or investigate if there was an accident or a fire or something like that. So that is something that's really used in real life. So obviously that does impact what we teach in our classes and labs. How many people have seen Spot the Robot Dog? If you haven't, you can YouTube Spot. Spot is housed in our area in the School of Construction. Sometimes people don't associate robots and AI and so forth with construction, but there is a lot of that in construction, as a matter of fact. There's a lot of smart technology. There's a lot of BIM, which stands for Building Information Modeling. There's a lot of CAD work, and there's also a lot of interrelation with construction and other industries. For example, there are people who are focused in lean construction and sustainability in maybe College of Natural Resources and Environment. Sometimes there are research projects where people from different colleges work with our faculty. There are people that are doing things like concrete 3D printing, and that's some of the exciting stuff that we have in our department and School of Construction. So we try to not only build the academic record of students, we try to help them increase their leadership skills, we try to help them become engaged in whatever's important to them during their time at Virginia Tech. So one of those things involves competition teams. We have student chapters of some national organizations, and we also have some competition teams that are, maybe based on someone's interest. If we have a team of people who are interested in mechanical contracting, they have competitions where they are doing, testing themselves against other schools in mechanical applications related to construction, and that could be related to mechanical systems in buildings or whatever. We have a team that competed in what is called a solar decathlon, where they went to California last year, and their task was to develop a net zero home. And in case you don't know what net zero means, it is that home has to generate the amount of energy that it is needed to run that home. So part of the competition was that they had to host a reception and have people come to it, and the part of the competition was that they had to be able to fix dinner and serve it and have enough lighting and have enough juice in the home to run a sound system and that kind of thing. So it's very realistic, but also a lot of these things are very cutting edge and things that you may not have associated with construction before. We have a group called Building Women in Construction. I see some women in the crowd, and granted, women in construction it's still a male-dominated industry, but in the School of Construction, we have much higher percentage of females in our programs than in the industry. So we are trying to make some of those changes from the inside out and send out highly qualified students and eventually bring that number up to a little bit closer to equal. So another thing that we're very adamant about, and this is obviously the mission of Virginia Tech, Ut Prosim, service learning, finding out where you can plug in to give back to someone else. There are tons of opportunities for that around this campus, but some of the ones that we are involved in combine students' love for giving back with their expertise in construction. So 2 examples I'm highlighting, one is international and then one is very close to home. The international one is that we have a service learning project, and incidentally it can be for students in any major across campus. It doesn't have to only be CEM and BC. But the last several years they have gone to Costa Rica, and they have spent, this is a spring-only class, they spend spring semester scoping out a particular project, and then after the semester's over, after exams are over, they go to Costa Rica, or this coming spring they're going to Peru to do what we call the boots on the ground part. So they have figured out, how are we going to get the materials there? Who are our contacts in that community? And then they go do the physical building or renovation or whatever the case is. This past spring, the project was putting in a playground at a preschool, and I'm not sure what the project is in Peru, but they have done things in the past such as building schools, building greenhouses in Hawaii for that help serve local families who might be food insecure or who are homeless. So we try to tie those things together. The local example that I wanted to share is that in Radford, only about 20 minutes away, somehow we were hooked up with a family who had unexpectedly adopted their grandchildren, and their home was not big enough. So our students, with the work, with kind of a combination with a local contractor, because they had to have licenses and so forth that our students actually didn't have, they ended up doing a home addition for that family and added what was a considerable percentage of square footage to that home, including bedrooms, bathrooms, and living space, and I think even a deck area. So that's a way that is maybe similar to something like Habitat for Humanity, which you may be familiar with or have participated in, but that's a way that we're doing Ut Prosim both abroad and here at home. A couple of pictures are just from some of the international projects that our School of Construction students have been involved in over the last couple of years. And there's a little bit about the domestic UPROSM that we are involved in. And those logos are some of the organizations that our students are most commonly a part of. One of the most important things that we feel is a strong point about the School of Construction is that the belonging and the family environment and the sense of camaraderie that we have, we do some very intentional things to create that. It is not just happenstance, and it's not just because people happen to be like-minded and they happen to be studying the same expertise or background area. We have meals together, we have events where students are trying to make themselves stronger candidates for the career fairs coming up. We have industry representatives come in and share their expertise or offer mentorship, and that is a very personal connection and one of our favorite things to say about the School of Construction. And speaking of that, we have career fairs. We have 2 of those a year, one in the fall and one in the spring. And if you are interested, it doesn't matter what major you're in, the next one is coming up October the 15th from 10 to 4 at the Inn. And you are more than welcome to come and check those out. A lot of our companies will hire people as freshmen, and it doesn't matter if you're green, it doesn't even matter if you have fully committed to what major you're going into. They just know you're an engineer, they know you have certain skills and capabilities, and they would be willing to talk to you, of course. So we're competitive with salaries, and I think that's important to know. Sometimes people think that maybe from a smaller department, some of the numbers are not quite as competitive. But one of the favorite things that we say about our students, or the things that we try to talk up, is that we have 100% job placement. Now, that might be because the construction industry is hot right now. It might be because we are a smallish department. But whatever the reason, that's one of the things that we're very proud to talk up, because we know that that's very important in the long term to know that there will be a place for you. We do something kind of unique at graduation in that we have a hard hatting ceremony in addition to the College of Engineering ceremony and the overall Virginia Tech ceremony. And it's just something kind of special that we do in the School of Construction and is unique. But it's a good way for you to bond with the students that you've had maybe most of the classes with and ultimately get 3 graduation ceremonies. HIT Hall is one of the things that we're very proud of. Has anybody eaten in HIT Hall yet or had a class? All right. So HIT Hall is home to the School of Construction. There is also general university space, but at least a third of that building is our home, and we are also in Bishop Favreau. So they're right there across the sidewalk from each other. We have a very nice study area on 3rd floor of Bishop Favreau that we would love for you to come to. Doesn't matter what major you're in, come on up, because we have a really good study area that's spacious and has lots of outlets and a refrigerator and a microwave and all that good stuff, so come make yourself at home. And finally, I just wanted to leave you with a couple of QR codes. If you do think you are interested in construction engineering and management, I have linked out our website, our LinkedIn, and the 3rd event there is something that we're having on Friday, November the 1st, and that is CEM Preview Day. We're going to go a little bit more in depth in some of the things that I've talked about this evening, but it will be things like sitting in on a class to see what that's like, hearing from an industry panel, hearing from a student ambassador panel, getting a tour of some of the facilities, seeing a demonstration of some of the AR and VR technologies, wearable exoskeletons and that kind of thing, but a little bit more immersive to try to find out if CEM is your cup of tea, and if it is, to come on over. I want to highlight that this is the first fall that we have a brand new major. We have construction engineering and management still that we've had for the past several years, but we also have a construction engineering and management safety leadership degree. And if you want more information about that, we have the roadmaps at our table in the vestibule area. But we would love to have you, and if you have any questions, please reach out, set a Zoom appointment, come see us in Bishop Favreau and HIT, and I hope you have a great rest of the semester.
Hello, thank you for spending your Monday evening here with us. Makes me happy, maybe not quite so much on your side of it, but we're happy you're here. My name is Renee Ryan. I'm the Assistant Director of, let me see, I've just had a title change, Assistant Department Head and still Assistant Director of Undergraduate and Student Affairs. So I'm here to tell you that we raise structures, we build dreams. What we really look at is we look at creating vertical structures, spaces, and systems with a focus on business and construction management, innovation, and emerging technologies, and the performance and sustainability of these buildings. This is what we do. Beautiful structure. So this is one of our recent graduates. So Hunter knew from the beginning she wanted to build stadiums. She came in kind of knowing that that was the technique, that was the field she wanted to look at. So she targeted construction companies during the career fair that did that. So from her sophomore and junior internships, she did that. And she was hired straight into that as she graduated, when she graduated from college. In fact, as many of our students do, they actually will sign their commitment and have a job before their senior year of college. So that's a good little buffer there to help you not be so stressed. So who are we? Myers-Lawson School of Construction is home to 2 degrees. The Department of Building Construction, you receive a Bachelor of Science in Building Construction, or CEM, you receive a BS in Construction Engineering and Management that Sharon just spoke of. There are some differences between our degrees. If we look at building construction, we are a non-engineering degree within the College of Engineering, but we are non-engineering. CEM is an engineering degree. We take students entry into major. CEM is entry into college. Entry into major means you come straight into us without going into your first year gen ed engineering courses. So our freshman students right now are taking 2 BC specific classes their first semester. We have an entrepreneurship and management focus. CEM is STEM and management focus. So those are our differences. We have a lot more similarities. So we share faculty, classes, labs, research, career fair, internships, organizations, and clubs. We also share 2 buildings. This is Hitt Hall, which just opened 2 weeks ago when classes started. And then we have Bishop Favreau Hall across the sidewalk. So we're still a big family, but we're in 2 houses right now. Actually, Hitt Hall was made possible through the generous donations of 5 key donors. They came to us and said, we need more students, we need more people in this industry. And we said, we are out of room. Bishop Favreau was 35,000 square feet. We were already at capacity. Within 5 months, they went out and raised the money, raised $25 million to start HIT Hall for us. So this is the generosity of our donors. I could ask them for anything, and they would come through for us. These are some interior shots. This is Myers-Lawson School of Construction, occupies around 30,000 square feet of HIT Hall. We also have Perry Place, great place to eat, in the other section. We have some new classrooms, meeting spaces. It's a beautiful building. If you haven't been there, just come in, walk around. You can walk beyond the Perry Place and go up the steps. We have a huge innovation lab that will be occupied soon, that you can watch the research going on through some big glass panels. What we learn: new technologies, drone technologies, virtual and augmented reality, autonomous equipment, wireless sensors, robotics. These are all labs and research going on with our faculty. And Spot the Robotic Dog is, I think next year I'll actually we have a video of Spot dancing to Taylor Swift. So I'm gonna put that in there next time. This is a 3D printer printing a concrete house. And actually a 3D printer similar to that will be going into HIT Hall in a few weeks. They're trying to get it all, figure out how to get it taken apart and brought in because it is huge, but then we're gonna make it work there. So you're welcome to come see that when we get that up and going. We have different tracks of study when you come into us. Emergent technologies for construction, housing, and development, information systems in the built environment, sustainable building performance, and we have a restricted elective double major track that Nathan, my ambassador, will be talking to you about. We too have a design build capstone, engaging classrooms, hands-on experiences, engaging labs. I'm glad Sharon went through all the labs with you. Opportunities, what we have to offer you: scholarships. BC alone had over $100,000 worth of scholarships awarded last year. Competition teams, again, Nathan, my ambassador, will be talking with you about that. And study abroad and service learning. So we take what we know, we use it to help others. These are some different places we've been. We go on field trips. Actually, in a couple of weeks, I'll be taking my first year class. We're going to Richmond this year, but this was 1 year. I think this was DC, it was DC. And you can see that we went up that hoist there, the outside elevator, as you might call it. We went up, gosh, around 40, I think about 40 stories. It was really cold up there. I mean, it was miserable, but this really gives you a chance to know what it looks like from up there. Internships and careers. We are an A+ here. You may not realize it, but the median age right now of the construction worker is 42 years. 41% of them will be retiring by age 2031. So right now, this was actually a 2022, we had a shortage of 650,000. So this is why our industry, raised $25 million and said, we need more people. So you will come out of here with a career, an exciting career. This is our construction fair, and I actually have a little short video of the fair.
As many students as we can get into the program, we can get them out of the program and get jobs.
My sophomore year, I had 5 internship offers. My junior year, I had 6 internship offers. I signed a full-time job offer on the first day of senior year.
I wish there was 100 more students that we could hire tomorrow because they're all great kids.
rather than compete for jobs, the companies are actually competing for our students. These are professional jobs, a lot of money to be made by the students. The employers tell me, and a lot of these folks at our career fair go to other career fairs, and they tell us our students are by far the best students in the country.
It's just an awesome display of talent that's coming out of Myers-Lawson's School of Construction. We have almost 40 young men and women that have graduated from Virginia Tech and come through our intern program that are project executives, senior level project managers, pre-construction managers, superintendents. I think Virginia Tech is in Myers-Lawson has focused on what the industry needs.
So our career fair is coming up, and you're welcome. It'll be 2 days, over 130 companies at the career fair, which is held at the Inn at Virginia Tech. These are some of our students. I'm just going to flip through a couple of slides of our students on their internships. I work with the first-year students, and since I've been the last 5 or 6 years, we've really been concentrating on getting them paid internships as well, and we're successful. So what they like is they like to get you in young, train you, and give you the way to go. This is actually I'm not going to play the whole thing here, but a few words from one of our female alums.
Kimberly Roy's passion for building came at a young age. She was 10 years old when she told her parents she wanted to move to New York City and build skyscrapers.
It surprised my parents. They are not in the building industry, and really a lot of builders are generational, so it was unique.
That passion ultimately led her to Virginia Tech.
I started studying architecture. I didn't even know there was a building construction program. So I transferred into building construction, and again, it was foundational to my career trajectory, my time in Blacksburg, and getting that important knowledge at a young age cemented my passion for building.
Kim, a 1999 alumna, is now CEO of HIT Contracting, an award-winning nationwide construction company.
I left Virginia Tech and I came as an assistant manager. I went right out into the field and I worked on construction sites for the first 12 years of my career.
Being a CEO never crossed her mind.
Did you aspire to be a CEO? Was that part of the plan too?
No, I wanted to be a builder. I thought that was cool.
Nearly 15 years into...
Okay, so females out there, do you want to be the next CEO of a multi-million-dollar company? We can turn you into that. Full-time employment, 100% of our students have a job going into the military or advanced degree up on graduation, not 3 months out. 70,000, I think I'm a little low here, but I have 70,000 as the average starting salary. I really need to look at the statistics, and I know several students that started over 100,000. So why choose BC? I think I will let you talk to our student ambassador. His name is Nathan Herrick, and he can talk to you from a student perspective about this degree.
Thank you, Renee. First off, I just want to welcome everybody to Virginia Tech. We're very glad that you guys are here. I'm going to start off, I'll talk about, I guess, internships and industry-related things. I got my first internship at the career fair as a freshman, working for a multifamily developer up in Bethesda. We, I don't know, it was within, October, so the first 2 months, I already had one lined up. Anyways, before we dive into details, a little bit about me. I'm from Cary, North Carolina. I am a double major in building construction and commercial real estate. So I'm all in the College of Engineering, but also I spent a lot of time in the College of Business. And I have a unique career path or career path that I'm trying to pursue. I want to work as a real estate developer, which means that we're the people that and end up conceiving the ideas for a building or a project, make sure that it's going to make money or achieve the goals of the project. And then you go out and you hire a bunch of engineers, or a general contractor who hires all of the subcontractors, a design team, and you raise funding and fund the project. So I worked for the construction arm of this developer up in Bethesda, and we were building a multifamily high-rise. And I worked as a project engineering intern. So I was in the office, but I got to go in the field almost every day. So it was a great balance of, digging through Excel sheets and making phone calls, but then also going outside and making sure things were being built right, hitting our schedules, that kind of stuff. And then last summer, I worked for QTS Data Centers, which is the largest data center developer in the country and maybe the world by now. There was just a press release the other day. We have a 1.1 gigawatt project that's going to be built that we're working on developing in Europe right now, in the UK, which is mind-blowingly large. It's huge. We had one that size in the United States, and we had to build a new nuclear plant to power that. So very large projects. I worked as a capital strategy intern. So I got to sit down and I got to work with executives on a daily basis. People from Blackstone, our largest funder and investor. I got to work with executives from HIT Contracting. We have a deal with them where they build a lot of our projects. And then I got to work with a lot of top engineering firms and design firms who designed the intricate buildings and projects that we were building in the industrial space. But I worked as a capital strategy intern, so my job was making sure that we had the money to fund these multi-billion-dollar projects. And as the data center world is a very evolving industry, so the products that we're delivering are relatively new. We're building much larger data centers, and a lot of them hold or serve AI purposes, which are where all of the NVIDIA chips are going into. So they're huge and very expensive, and you estimate costs differently than standard, like 48 megawatt data centers. So I built a new cost calculating calculator that we used to project the initial costs for these large campuses that are $10, $15, $20 billion each that are being built all across the country and now all across Europe. I'm actually working with them to organize an internship next summer, hopefully, in London, where I can help build the expansion of the company out there. Anyways, lots of internship opportunities. And I also just wanted to say, don't let the fact that we are not, that our students don't end up earning their engineering stamp at the end of graduation. We like to consider ourselves kind of the quarterback of the project stakeholders. And in order to be the quarterback, we need to learn a lot of extra stuff. We need to be familiar with lots of different areas related to building a building. So we don't do the general engineering classes like Renee stated, but that doesn't mean that our major is easier or less intense. We actually have more credit hours than a standard engineering major, and that's because we like to fill those classes up with classes that are specific to construction, and they're, very well-designed courses. And then to talk about student competitions. So I'm the program lead for the Design Build program at Virginia Tech. It's my baby. Last fall, we traveled to Liverpool to compete internationally. Some other schools from the US came. There was Georgia Tech, Cal Poly, Auburn was there. But then there were lots of other schools in Europe, engineering schools in Europe that we got to compete with. And this is a unique space because I brought together students from the College of Architecture. We have civil engineers, CEM students, real estate students, all working collaboratively to build a really detailed project proposal to then present in front of project stakeholders of the real-life project in that foreign market. So in a few months, we're going out to Dublin, fully paid for by the school and our industry sponsors. Honestly, it's been my favorite experience so far at Virginia Tech. And yeah, it's very rewarding, and it's a unique space where you get to collaborate with other people that are in majors related to the built environment. And then I just wanted to speak to the community that we have, not just in building construction, but in the Myers-Lawson School of Construction. Some of my best friends are in the School of Construction. You get to work with these students and classmates and friends on a daily basis, and you're working collaboratively in projects. So you run things almost like a business. there's a really strong entrepreneurial spirit within building construction. A lot of our graduates have gone on to found some very large construction companies. If you walk around campus, you'll see signs for W.M. Jordan, for example, who's founded by a building construction graduate. You saw the CEO of HIT Contracting as a graduate of building construction, and the list goes on and on. It's amazing to sit in the boardroom when we have our industry board in town once a semester and see all of these execs that graduated the program and we're sitting in the same seats that we're sitting in now. And they're part of that community that I was talking about. They're really involved in our success. They always, ask, reach out, call, text, stop by on campus, ask how things are going. They always want to know about your internships. And yeah, anyways, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I don't know. If you're interested, I'd love to chat with you about building construction.
Thank you, Nathan. And he will be out in the foyer or mezzanine afterwards if you'd like to talk with him one-on-one. And to wrap it up, he just said it, but it's a family affair. The best recommendation that you can get is when a student goes home and talks about us to their families. To date, we've had 7 sets of twins. We've had 24 sets of siblings. We actually have 2 more sets right now, I know, in our first-year class. So this is, when you go home and bring your family back with you, that means something. These are the hard hats the students receive during their hard-hatting ceremony. You can see a lot of them do decide to wear them to the university ceremony. So our students stand out in multiple ways, and this is just one of them. Please contact us if you have any questions. If you'd like to come over and sit in a class, tour the building, we are there to talk to you. We take in a lot of change of majors every year. And this is a QR code for our website where you can find all of our information to come see us. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Case. I'm the Associate Department Head in Civil and Environmental Engineering here at Virginia Tech, and tonight I have the great privilege to tell you a little bit about our programs here. But before doing that, I'll share a little bit about my background. It'll give you an idea of some of the biases I have that I approach looking at things within Virginia Tech and perhaps outside Virginia Tech with. So first of all, I grew up in Collinsville, Virginia. How many of you know where Collinsville is? Okay, I got a few people. Let's see if I can help you out. I see the orange dot down on the bottom. So that orange dot is roughly the location of Collinsville. It's about 15 miles from the North Carolina line. And the reason I know that it's 15 miles from the North Carolina line is when I was a teenager, there were so many exciting things to do in Collinsville that we'd hop on our bicycles, ride to the North Carolina line, step over, and then turn around and ride back just because we wanted to say we'd been to North Carolina. I'm a first-generation college graduate, and so if you're in the position where you're a first-generation college student, then I'll be glad to talk with you about some of my experiences, perhaps advice I can share with you in that regard. My parents were actually first-generation high school graduates. I'm a 3-time Virginia Tech alumnus, and so I tell people if you cut me, I bleed maroon and orange. I've been a faculty member here since 1997. And most importantly, I'm the proud parent of a recent Virginia Tech civil engineering alumnus, as well as a Mary Washington chemistry graduate. Ironically enough, my Mary Washington chemistry graduate works for a civil engineering firm. And I'm a self-confessed sports junkie. And so if you want to talk about things other than academics, we can talk about sports as well. So that's from a couple of basketball seasons ago, or I guess 3 basketball seasons ago now, coming out of COVID, where I sent it to my oldest son to rub it in that I was at basketball games and he wasn't. But that's enough about me. I should talk to you a little bit about civil and environmental engineering. As you might guess from the name of the department, the name is a compound name. It has to do with both civil engineering as well as environmental engineering. Civil engineering focuses on the design, construction, and maintenance of the physical and naturally built environment. And then environmental engineering seeks solutions to environmental challenges that impact the health and well-being of society and the environment. I think many of you are familiar with the challenges, with the accomplishments that have been made by previous civil engineers, going from the pyramids on the Giza Plateau all the way up to the Burj Khalifa. I don't have to talk to you very much about those, but what I do want to encourage you to think about are the challenges that are facing current engineers, and in particular those who may choose to pursue the civil engineering discipline. Some examples of those that were put together by the World Economic Forum. First of all, dealing with energy and climate change. About 30% of greenhouse gases that are produced have to do with buildings. Having to deal with extreme weather. There's a lot of controversy about whether extreme weather events are associated with climate change, but what we can agree on is the fact that these extreme weather events do impact the constructed environment, and we'd like our constructed environment to be as resilient to these extreme weather events as possible. We have a shortage of housing, particularly affordable housing that's available in urban environments. And so currently there are about 200,000 people annually who are looking for housing. There's a world infrastructure gap. There have been estimates that we need about $1 trillion annually to try to close that infrastructure gap. Another challenge is resource scarcity. And in particular, if you look at the construction industry, it's the #1 consumer of raw resources in the world annually. There's a demand shift where about 65% of the construction that will take place in the next year will take place outside of the United States in the third world. And then we've already had discussion about the talent gap. One of the things that I would say to you, you're in a very fortunate position right now that there's a strong demand for engineers. And in particular, if you're looking at something to do with the constructed environment, there's a tremendous demand where employers come to campus, and as you've heard already, they tell us they just can't get enough people to fill the openings that they have. So we're trying to help out with these challenges, and so we view it as our mission to try to prepare the next generation of civil engineers with skills to serve communities and nature through the transdisciplinary education and research in the built environment that we prepare them with. Civil engineering, its name, for those of you who are interested in serving the public good, should give you some indication that it's the one for you, because the public good is built into the name through the civil engineering piece. We're recognized nationally and internationally for developing civil engineers who serve society in this fashion at the intersection of the natural and built environment. So it wouldn't be an engineering presentation if there weren't some facts and figures in it. So to give you a brief overview of our department, we've got about 630 undergraduate students within our Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering program. Of those, about 30% are female. We're at a research institution, so it won't surprise you to find out that we've got graduate students as well. We've got approximately 300 of those. Those students work with 57 faculty who are enthusiastic and looking to share their knowledge and experience with those of you who come here. And then I mentioned that other people think we're pretty good at what we do. Academics have a love-hate relationship with rankings. We hate them in case we happen to be ranked highly in them, in which case we love them. So in this case, if you look at U.S. News and World Report rankings, our undergraduate ranking in the most recent survey is 6th overall. Our graduate ranking is 9th. And then our graduate ranking in the environmental area was 5th. We're a relatively large department, and the civil engineering discipline is quite broad. And so we have to try to organize ourselves internally The way that we organize ourselves internally is into 6 specialty areas or program areas. They are construction engineering and management, environmental and water resources, structural engineering and materials, geotechnical engineering, sustainable land development, and transportation and infrastructure, or transportation systems engineering. And in order to talk about those, I'll just give you a little bit of a brief overview of each of those areas. So first of all, construction engineers are engineers who oversee and manage large-scale complex constructions involving many stakeholders, and they're involved in the management of construction resources, labor, materials, equipment, money, and time. Another one of our program areas is the environmental and water resources area. Engineers who work in this area apply fluid mechanics, biology, and chemistry to minimize and manage waste and pollution, in the process protecting the air, water, soil, and ourselves from harmful chemicals. And they characterize natural hazards and their risks. They design systems to reduce fatalities, mitigate damage, and protect the quality of life. And one of the things that I'm really excited about tonight is this is the first time I've had the opportunity to do a presentation of this type in a group this size and say, yes, in fact, we do have a new undergraduate major in environmental engineering. And so now at the undergraduate level, we offer a civil engineering major within our civil and environment, or in our civil engineering degree program. And now we also offer an environmental engineering major. And it's available to students now. And so if you're interested, then please reach out to us to talk to us about it. And we'll try to share the opportunities that are available to you in that area. The structural and materials engineers, personally, I maybe have a little bit of room in my heart for them because that's my particular program area. They work to design and analyze all man-made objects whose primary function is load resistance. And so examples of that, buildings, bridges. You look around at civil engineering applications and you think, sure, I get bridges and buildings. One that often surprises individuals that civil engineers sometimes go into is aircraft. And you think about that and you think, well, don't we have aerospace engineers for that? And yes, in fact, we do. But if you look at the structural mechanics, the same structural mechanics that applies to bridges and buildings also applies to aircraft. The only difference tends to be the designs that you come up with or the materials that you use in them. You might also use the same techniques to design transmission towers or drilling platforms. And along the way, you have to consider the social, economic, and environmental impacts, as well as the aesthetics of the designs that you're developing. Geotechnical and coastal engineers analyze soil and rock that affects the behavior of the structures. Structural engineers couldn't do what they do without the help of the geotechnical engineers. They also look at pavements, underground facilities, and so on. They design foundations, dams, retaining walls, and roadway cuts. Land development engineers help plan residential, commercial, industrial, or mixed-use developments. And in the process, they determine the feasibility of a development project and assess the land to ensure that it can support the planned development. And transportation, infrastructure, and systems engineers improve the movement of persons and goods. They plan, design, operate, maintain, and manage a safe, sustainable, multimodal transportation system. And so we've heard a lot about post-graduation employment. Civil and environmental engineering is a stable, in-demand, and transferable occupation. So one of the things that's true about it, and you can go look up statistics, and I encourage you to do so on the career website or the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. The salaries that come out for civil engineers starting typically around $65,000 to $80,000. It naturally depends upon the geographic location that you go into. But one of the things associated with that is it's a stable profession. And so it's not one where you're going to pick up articles or pick up a newspaper and look in the Wall Street Journal and you see 100,000 individuals working in the profession have been laid off. It's typically, or it's just not something that happens in the civil engineering profession. The degree that gets you into the career is a bachelor's degree. Often the MS degree is looked at for advancement opportunities. We had discussion about professional engineering licensure. That's one of the things that we encourage civil engineers to work toward. If for no other reason, many of them are interested in starting their own firms after they work for a while, and it's really an essential part of being able to start your own engineering firm. And then senior positions, many civil engineers move into managerial positions, and they also work in government and public policy areas. So hopefully if you're a student, you're interested in the sorts of things that you might learn in each of our degree programs. Within civil and environmental engineering, you'll learn about science, society, and sustainability, as well as engineering. Civil and environmental engineering is a naturally interface profession that has to deal with each of those every day in practice. We want people who graduate from our program to be positioned to be impactful leaders for change, not only in Virginia as a state institution, but also in the world. And they need to be able to design safe, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure that improves the quality of life for all. As faculty members, what we do in the end is we deliver coursework that's tied into curricula. So the civil engineering curriculum consists of 128 credits. I'm not going to go through all of the details. You can go look up at the graduation requirements. But to hit some of the high spots, we've got a civil and environmental engineering degree core that focus on CAD, civil engineering measurements, and then fundamental courses in the specialty area. Just like our freshman engineering program is designed to give you an opportunity to explore each of the engineering disciplines, within civil engineering, our degree program is designed to give you an opportunity to explore each of the subdisciplines within civil and environmental engineering so that you can find the best fit for you. Once you decide what you're interested in doing, there are advanced electives that are available within the civil and environmental engineering department, and then also outside the department, because we want you to get not only breadth in a disciplinary area that's of interest to you, but also breadth as well so that you're a well-rounded engineer. Our program is challenging. Virginia Tech, as you know, is not a diploma mill institution. At the same time, we think our program has the flexibility so that it's forgiving when things go wrong. And if you look at graduation statistics, then you'll see that about 80% of civil engineering graduates finish their degree program within 4 years. To help out, perhaps when things do go wrong, or more importantly, to help out when you're trying to plan what you want to do in the future, we've got a team of advisors within civil engineering. We've got one lead advisor, Laura Varbancourt. I can't see at the back right now because the lights are in my face, but if you check out the table afterwards, she'll be back there. Lauren leads a group of 7 faculty advisors. I'm one of those. And so if you come into civil engineering, once you enter the program, you're assigned a faculty advisor, and that advisor sticks with you through your time in civil engineering until you walk across the stage at commencement with your civil engineering degree. Like the other programs that talked about previously, we have opportunities for study abroad. We work with students who may organize their own individual experiences. And then we also have faculty-led programs where they take groups of students to various locations to look at engineering applications of what they've learned. We have scholarships that are available during a typical academic year. We award about $300,000 of scholarships to undergraduate students. The awards typically range from about $1,000 to $4,000, and they go to all levels of students, sophomore through senior level students. The most prestigious of those is the Undergraduate VIA Scholarship, and it provides in-state tuition for a year. We also have a career fair that's targeted to civil engineering students. We encourage those from outside of the program who may have an interest in civil engineering employers to participate. If for no other reason, these employers right now are desperate to fill positions. The fall career fair takes place October 21st. And it's available on Handshake. And as always, many students find internships and full-time positions through the career fairs that take place. And if you'll allow me to get up on my soapbox here as a parent of recent college graduates, there is nothing that you should be focusing on more than trying to work on get internships, summer employment, whatever it may be, to help you decide which areas you want to focus in with your degree programs, and hopefully encourage you that you want to graduate in the areas that you're studying. That we have many student organizations within the department. As a medium-sized department within the College of Engineering, that means that we've got quite a large number of students. They're all enthusiastic, or maybe most of them are enthusiastic, and they get together to do things that they're excited about. We have an American Society of Civil Engineers group, Chi Epsilon, and then many other groups. We've had some discussion of competition teams. We have a number of competition teams within the department as well that get opportunities to travel to competitions that are taking place nationally when they do well. Again, Virginia Tech is a research institution, and so one of the things that you have available to you as an undergraduate student is the opportunity to get involved in undergraduate research, working with a faculty member or a postdoc or a group of graduate students. Approximately 1 in 4, 1 in 5, 1 in 6 of our students get involved in undergraduate research. It counts as experiential learning in the graduation requirements. And many of these undergraduates get the opportunity to travel to professional meetings to present the research that they've been able to do. And there are also research internships that are available. If you are interested in going to graduate school after you complete your studies at Virginia Tech, one of the things I would encourage you to do is go to the NSF website, look for research experiences for undergraduates. Those are programs that take place outside of Virginia Tech, take place nationally, but you as a Virginia Tech student will be extremely competitive for those opportunities. And then finally, I want to leave you with a challenge, and this one actually comes from the American Society of Civil Engineers, or ASCE. It's important for students like you, or future engineers like you, to start thinking about the future of the built environment, what technologies will be within reach. Dream big there. You know, if you look back just 50 years from now, pull newspapers, pull pictures off of the internet, and see what buildings, what cities look like then, and contrast them with what they look like now. And just think about what it'll be possible for you to accomplish 50 years from now. Where will people live, work, play, and shop? Will these buildings or will the entire constructed environment be sustainable? If there are natural disasters, will it be resilient? Will the buildings be safe and secure? And will they be economically and environmentally affordable? And with that, I've exhausted my time here. Thanks very much for your attention. And if there is anything I can do to help you out making your decision on which degree program is the best for you, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks very much.
Is a little question and answer. So we have some questions for the panelists that we want to ask them. Is that too bright, or is that okay? All right. So I have our first question, and feel free if you want to do, if you've not been on stage, feel free to do an introduction as well, and we will get started. And y'all are our first table, so you get the first question. Is that okay? Let me also pull it up. I don't have it up on my phone yet. Okay. So our first question, and can you all hear me okay out there too? Very good. Our first question is, why should a student consider your major?
Hi guys, my name is Catherine Caputo. Right now I'm a junior in CEM, Construction Engineering and Management. Why should you consider CEM? So coming into tech, I was considering architecture, and then I was considering civil. And then I kind of realized what I loved and what I hated. I loved the design aspect of architecture, but then I loved the problem-solving part of civil engineering. But I knew I was lacking something, which is really the management of people. So I think it's really a niche major that not a lot of people know about. And if you love people, but you also want to do civil, and you want to have that interaction, face-to-face conversation, be able to go on site every day and see a building get built right in front of you, I think it's something very niche to check out. So.
Hey guys, my name is Joe Tramontano. Good chunk of y'all might have caught me outside. So if you've heard this spill already, I do apologize. I'm a senior this year, construction engineering and management, and I came to Tech with the intention of going into mechanical engineering. I was going to go into construction, but there was that little childhood thought of me becoming Iron Man one day, and that just didn't happen. But if there was one thing that I was really passionate about, was helping people, and I was able to do that through CEM. So now I serve as an ambassador for the program, helping new ambassadors as well, and also prospective students like yourself. It's been a great opportunity. It's definitely one of my favorite things to do. It's definitely made up my experience here at Virginia Tech as well.
Excellent.
Moving on to building construction, sorry, okay. There are two reasons why I think you guys should pick building construction. The first is the flexibility within the major. Like I said, I'm a double major, and I've had faculty working by my side since before the first day of school, working to customize the curriculum and my college plan to specify, like to work towards my career goals. And the second is the soft skills within the industry. Our major has a strong focus on leadership and the development of your soft skills, where you focus on management, managing people, managing businesses, managing teams, and this is something that's really strongly reflected within our program. Renee and I TA for Renee for one of the classes called Building Effective Teams, and it was developed by executives with Horrigan Construction, and it honestly was my favorite class that I've ever taken. We work with teams the entire semester doing weekly projects. You learn about different leadership styles and techniques, conflict resolution, and a lot more, but yeah.
Basically, I would also say that the flexibility within the degree, it is not just all boots on the ground. You don't have to be in the field. There's real estate, there's interiors, there's finance. There's so many niches that you can go into if you really don't want to be out there in the boots.
Hi, y'all. I'm Andrew Donaldson. I'm a senior in civil engineering. And the thing that really drives me and would hopefully drive some of you is helping people in my community. And I think civil engineering is kind of the perfect place to be in an engineering field. And I think the way that I think about civil is that kind of anything that you see in your community in the built environment and natural environment tends to be touched by a civil engineer. And that gives you a great responsibility. And it's really exciting to be able to know that your projects are going towards hopefully helping people, but that gives you kind of a great opportunity to improve your community. And a lot of the problems that come up in today's world can be solved by civil engineers. So I think that kind of helping my community aspect has really driven me towards civil, and hopefully drive some of y'all that are not doing your job just for a paycheck. You're doing it so you have impact in the greater good. So that's kind of where I think civil stands out.
Awesome. Do you want to add anything else? We'll go to the next question. Perfect. All right. So starting back, maybe we'll start with you in civil now. Is that okay? All right. What was the neatest aspect of your undergrad experience that you have taken advantage of?
So I've had quite a few, but I think the one that kind of sticks out is most recently I participated in undergrad research in the spring semester, looking at development of using seismic waves to look in the underground. So this past summer, I was able to travel up to northern Alaska. In the Arctic Circle, we were looking at using seismic waves to determine the depth of permafrost, and that's an opportunity I just learned in my intro to geotech class. I applied for the position, got it, and it was just a crazy experience to be able to go do field work in such a a kind of distant environment for where you usually go to. So northern Alaska being kind of the middle of nowhere, you'd be able to see amazing places and also apply what you're learning in class to something, in this case research. But I think that was kind of really unique for me because I was able to use the work that I did in the lab in this case, and we're analyzing the data now, but kind of being involved in something really in the field, seeing what an actual civil engineer would do. So that was kind of the most, I guess, niche aspect of what I've had my undergrad experience here.
I've had some amazing opportunities so far in my undergrad experience. My favorite, I already talked about, going to Liverpool and then going to Dublin in a few weeks, or month and a half, 2 months. Those were both incredible experiences, but also some of the mentorship that I've received from my professors has been incredible. I've worked as a research assistant in real estate, but I've been a part of research within the School of Construction, and one of our professors definitely has been a mentor to me, and it's been very interesting to learn about his research, in some of which is in 3D printing homes, and I believe he just won a grant for 3D printing structures on the moon, which is pretty cool. There's actually a 60 Minutes episode about that technology if you guys look it up. I don't know, I went down a rabbit hole the other day about it, but yeah, everything's at your fingertips. It's awesome.
I will add too, Nathan does do some pretty cool stuff around campus. One of the coolest things looking back, as my senior year, 3 years ago or so, I was sitting where you are today for the foundations class. But one of the neatest things, just a quick show of hands, does anyone have a class in the undergraduate science lab right now? Yeah? Well, guess what? I designed that thing and I built it too. So I was working during the school year, during the semester, running back and forth in 30-degree weather, Carhartt and work boots, putting up pipe and ductwork, and it's so cool with our degrees, BC, CEM, and even some civils. We're able to have these jobs on campus. You have to do a little bit of time management. You kind of got to be on top of your game, but these opportunities are here, and these contractors, they want you. So if that's somewhere where you might see yourself either next year or just at some point in your career, I'd say go for it, because it's probably one of the best things I've ever done here at Tech.
So starting off, I think one of the things I definitely took advantage of was getting to know the industry. There's so many connections, like they mentioned earlier. The career fairs that have over 200 companies come, and you can learn from their experience what their favorite projects are, the challenges they endure in the career that you're going to eventually go into. So building those connections now, freshman year, there's unlimited options. It's right at your fingertips. But also, I also did undergraduate research. So I was focusing on construction robotics. So mechanical, robotic engineering, like that's a part of construction as well. And Virginia Tech and CEM funded me to go to France this past summer, and I got to present my research, and that was just an amazing experience. Never been out of the country, never done research before, but with the help of professors and industry knowledge, I was able to publish this paper, and everybody supported me in it. So if you're interested in going out of the country, interested in robotics, construction, there's just so many opportunities. So.
That's why I got off stage. Oh, thank you. All right, I turned my other one off. That way I'm not messing it up. So I'll start with the middle in building construction. Okay, as students are trying to determine the best major for them, what is one piece of advice that you would give them to help make that decision?
I would advise that you come talk to us. Our doors are always open. When I was graduating senior in high school, I looked at the website, I did a lot of research online, I really looked into the curriculum, and luckily, building construction in the Myers-Lawson School of Construction had an outstanding curriculum that stood out to me against the other schools that I was looking at. But what I didn't know was all the other opportunities and the culture of the department and the school itself. I had an hour-long lunch with a prospective student today, and we just hung out and walked around. We looked at the labs, we got lunch, chatted. So I would just come talk to us. We love having conversations with people that are interested in possibly working with us. I
would say definitely take advantage of the things Virginia Tech provides, which is career fairs. Internship, it's to figure out what you like and what you don't like. My first internship was as a general contractor, so I was working at a data center, and I learned that's not something I want to do. Second internship, I worked for a mechanical, electrical, plumbing contractor where they were designing these mechanical systems that go into buildings, and then I was on the operations side, so I was on site implementing these systems, and I figured out that's what I want to do for the rest of my life and take advantage of those opportunities, because you're not binded to these internships. It's for you to know what you like and you don't like.
I'd suggest when you're looking at any major, I know the salary is important, but I'd focus more on what gets you excited. When you talk to someone about one of these majors, what draws you to that? Because I think in general, when you become passionate about what you're doing, that's when you're going to be the most successful. That's when you're going to rise up in the ranks of a company and obviously do well, like making money and stuff. But I think it's more you want to be happy and fulfilled and know that the work you're doing is going towards something impactful. So I'd look at what gets you the most excited, what you're most passionate about, and go towards that when you're choosing your major.
Can I get on my soapbox?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so one more trip on my soapbox here. One of the things I would encourage you to do as you're looking into degree programs, not only look at the ones that you're convinced you're most interested in, but choose one that you think, I'm not interested at all about that, and make a sincere effort to find out about that program. Our degree programs here and our faculty members in general have a wide range of talents, and they're looking at interesting things. And if you do that, you're likely to find something you just didn't know was taking place in that department or in that degree program that may interest you. Or it may convince you that, yes, in fact, you've decided on the program that's exactly right for you, and that's fine too. But just don't close doors on opportunities that might be available just because you're not aware of them. Off my soapbox now.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to add too, I did briefly mention that I didn't come here for CEM, but we actually have a faculty who he impels this wise word of wisdom to everybody that he meets, and it's Murphy's Law. You know, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, right? Well, remember freshman year, I thought everything was going wrong because I realized that maybe I wasn't cut out for mechanical, and then I found myself at CEM. It's surprising how many things can change in the next year. Like right now, you're probably in this room right now thinking, you know what? I think I will go into mechanical. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do that. You're just here for the class. But I tell you what, if you come to us and you come talk to us at these tables, we might be able to change your mind. Be open to new experiences here at Tech, because that's what college is all about. Be here, be committed, find what you're passionate about, and run with it.
Excellent. So I think we have time for one more question, and we'll go with, what do you wish you had taken advantage of during your undergrad experience that you reflect on now that you wish you had now if you don't have enough time to do that now? And maybe start with civil in the very end.
Sure. I feel like I've taken advantage of a lot of things, but one thing I think I'd advise y'all to do is talk with your professors. These are people that are so good at what they do and so knowledgeable, and I think sometimes that knowledge doesn't always get transferred over. And I think when you go ask questions to these professors, they are always enthusiastic to answer them. So if you show that you're passionate about something, I think interfacing with professors, it's a great skill to have to build those relationships, and it can also just open a lot of doors for you that you didn't even know were possible, even at a college level. So I'd say just interfacing with those professors and students that are also involved and want to be involved with things that you're also passionate about, getting involved with those student organizations that are related to your engineering major. It's just a huge help and will open a lot of doors that you didn't even know existed beforehand. So just start asking questions, be interested in what you're learning in, and be passionate about what you're doing, and you'll be very successful in all that you do.
All right, one more trip on the soapbox. So the one thing I would say that I should have spent more time working on that I didn't appreciate at the time, just how critical it was building professional network. And so that's something, you've got an opportunity when you go to the career fairs, interact with people there, find out who they are, the sorts of things they're doing, try to commit it to memory. That way down the road, if you need to reach out to somebody who knows why you may need to reach out to them, but you'll remember, oh, I talked with this person at the career fair at Virginia Tech, and they're working in this area. That's somebody I can reach out to get advice. Or just in general, when you have classes, and each of our programs are structured slightly differently, but within our civil engineering degree program, we have an intro to civil and environmental engineering, and then we also have a professional legal issues class. They're in the sophomore and the senior years nominally, and with those, we bring in people from the outside. These are people that we bring in because they're really accomplished within the discipline. Those are exactly the sort of people that you want to have in your electronic Rolodex, that if you need to reach out to someone, who knows what it may be. You may find yourself looking for a new job, and you may remember that there's somebody who's working in an area you'd like to be working in who came to your 4804 class. You can just reach out to them and say, hi, you probably don't remember me, but we met when you came to civil engineering 4804 in fall of 2024. You talked about this, and I'm really interested in that. Can we spend a little bit of time talking about it in more detail? And we talked about Hokies love Hokies. You'll find out if you can play your Virginia Tech card, they're almost always willing to take a call from you, so take advantage of that more.
I'm going to expand on that. My advice would be to sit next to somebody new in every single class at the beginning of every semester. These 3 tables, each program, depending on the rankings or website you're looking at, is ranked number 1 through number 5 in the entire country. So your peers eventually, right now we're all students, but your peers are going to be the top professionals in this industry, and it's the network that you're going to graduate with and then hopefully maintain throughout your career is going to be a very large and valuable asset to you.
And I'm just going to keep adding on to what we've been dishing out right now. But professional network, classmates, but also make great connections here. At the end of the day, life, we can't do it alone. We need people on our side to help us keep going. And you need to be that person too sometimes for others. And Nathan over here, good buddy of mine, we sit down every now and then and we just ask how's life? How are things going? Catherine and I have had classes before. I mean, it's one of the coolest parts about my time here at Tech is that I just about know everyone in my program, and it's I love it. I love being able to catch up with everybody, but one day down the road, you just might need a job, and you might remember your lab partner or just whoever else from your class, and you might want to give them a call when that time may arise.
Yeah, what they said, plus also, I think just learning not to take yourself too seriously and enjoy this time. Make your best, these people are going to become your best friends. I know people in my major are my best friends, and I know when I go out in the industry, they're going to be looking out for me if I ever need anything. And I think CEM just provides that tight-knit family kind of community that you might not get in other majors, and that's something I've been so blessed with. And also live in office hours. If you have a question, go to office hours, please.
Excellent. Let's give our panelists a round of applause and thank them for their time. And thank you all very much. You're free to leave the stage whenever you'd like. So what we will do for the remainder of our evening is we did invite all of our departments to staff a table in this lobby area here. We all call it something different, mezzanine level or whatever, but as soon as you came into the entrance. So if you do have questions that you weren't able to ask tonight and get answers from the departments, feel free to hang out. I think we'll probably stay for just a few minutes. We're not going to stay all night, but feel free to ask those questions. And what we'll do now is also I'll ask them to lower the screen, and then those of you who are here, let me make sure. Yeah, he's going up. It's an old school screen. You have to literally go up the ladder and then pull it down. So if you are here for your Engineering 1215 or Engineering 1414 class, I'll pop up a QR code. If you were in the very back and your QR code's not working for you, just come toward the front. And if for some reason the QR code doesn't work as well, then you will be able to type in the URL that I have on the screen. Okay, so definitely make sure you take advantage of all of these opportunities throughout this week. Check out Engineering Expo, put that on your agenda for the week, and then I hope to see you all tomorrow and the remainder of the evenings for the rest of Explore Engineering nights. So I have to remove the bookmark thing over here so then it'll show. Okay, so make sure that you capture your attendance through this QR code, and that concludes our evening for tonight. Thank you all very much for being here.